Hello friends, I am very excited to bring you my video today. I am going to be playing Final Fantasy for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Final Fantasy series is one of my favorite game series. I started out with Final Fantasy II, or Final Fantasy IV in Japan, on the Super Nintendo, and I went on to play Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and Final Fantasy III or VI as well. Before I ever played this first Final Fantasy game, this game is very good. I do like this game. I mean, compared to the other games, obviously, it's not. I would say it's not as good as 2 and 3, especially because, as you'll see in the video, I talk about the fact that some of the weapon traits don't work in this game. I also have this strategy guide, and looks like I got it in December of 1990, so I was 9 years old. And so this was my first exposure to Final Fantasy was this strategy guide. I never played the game, but I would look at this strategy guide all the time, and it was part of my Nintendo Power subscription, and it still has, I don't know if you can see it, but it still has my name and my old address on the back. And so yeah, this has a lot of good memories for me, and it wasn't until Final Fantasy II that I played one of the games, so I don't know why, because like I said, I would look through this strategy guide all the time, and I thought it looked really cool, I thought the story sounded cool, but I just never took the time to play it. I have played through it several times as an adult. It's been a while since I've played. I don't know it as well as some of the other Final Fantasy games. So yeah, I'll actually be using this strategy guide in certain parts of the video, but I hope you enjoy this playthrough of Final Fantasy. This is just the first part of many. I'm not sure how many parts there will be. I will pick it back up this weekend and throughout the week, trying to get this first game finished. And I'll bring some other Final Fantasy games to you as well. And there are some other series that I'm very fond of that I look forward to playing through and showing you. So if you've never seen a Final Fantasy game, or if you've heard of Final Fantasy but you've ever wondered where it started from and you've never seen the original version of the first game, because this has been remade a few times, hope you enjoy this little playthrough. Oh hey, hi friends, how are you doing? I may or may not be using this strategy guide as I play through this game. It's been a while since I've played Final Fantasy. I do enjoy the first Final Fantasy, even just the plain NES version before they did any of the updated versions of the original Final Fantasy. I first played Final Fantasy II, or 4 rather, was the first Final Fantasy game I played. It was 2 in America at the time. And then I never owned it, I rented it all the time. I don't know why I never got Final Fantasy II, because I loved it so much. I did get Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and I did have Final Fantasy III or VI, which was my favorite, well, it is my favorite Final Fantasy game. I played 1 after I'd already played Final Fantasy III, so on the Super Nintendo. So this wasn't my first Final Fantasy game, but I do like the game, like I said. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to make the respawn rate faster. Now I usually do a fighter, and let's see, I don't really do a thief in this game. If you're wondering about the names I'm choosing, I'm naming them after my friends. And we need a black mage. And a white mage. so this will be the party for this game. So there's going to be a lot of grinding in this video, so I'll actually edit this down some, especially because this is a long game. So I'm planning to play through the whole game. So we're starting today, and I'll edit stuff down so that there's not a lot of dead time, and so that you don't have to watch every bit of me trying to get my characters leveled up. So I always start off getting my weapons, and oops. Now, one thing I always liked about this game, so this strategy guide, which I talked a little bit about in the intro, I used to read this all the time. And I didn't have Final Fantasy, so when that strategy guide was released with my Nintendo Power subscription, I'd never played the game, and I still never got it, but I was fascinated by it for some reason, and I would read through that. So I got that guide in 1990, so I was 9 years old at the time, and I would look at it all the time. I don't know why I never got it, but I am glad I did eventually get it on the NES. I was able to find a box copy while the Super Nintendo was out, so. Now here's the thing about shopping in this game, is that I don't know what's good for who. And that does help in the strategy guide. I can see who can actually equip what weapon and what armor. Some of it I know, and some of it I just do not know. So the wooden armor apparently can be equipped by the black belt, so we'll get some wooden armor for Nath. I believe the black mage and white mage are both going to have to just have cloth. Actually, when I was 9, I probably would have had a lot of trouble with this game. Not knowing what to buy who, when. So we got our armor, we got our weapons. Now we would need to get some magic. Now that's a little easier because you know when you go to get white magic, that's going to be your white mage. Black magic's going to be your black mage. However, one thing the strategy guide's really good for too is that it tells you which spells are actually worthwhile to buy and which ones aren't. So according to this, Cure and Harm are both worthwhile. Harm will hurt undead enemies. Fog adds 8 points to a warrior's armor rating, and Ruse increases your evasion. But those are not listed as best buys in this. So really, and you can only get 3 spells at any level. So We're just going to get Cure and Harm right now. Actually, we're going to get Cure right now, and then we're going to get a spell. We're going to get a spell for Judd, and then we will get the other spells we need. So I know Fire is one of the spells. So Fire and Lit are the two spells that I will need for Judd. Sleep puts enemies to sleep, and Lock increases your chance of hitting. So those are the ones you don't really need to buy. So we're going to go talk to the king, and then we are going to go work on getting some money and getting our levels up. So let's go to the castle. And I won't skip any of this, but I will be skipping after the castle so that you don't have to watch me leveling my characters up this whole time. And I'll go talk to some of the people. I'm not trying to rush through the game. I'll let y'all see some of the game and what's going on. So the Princess Sarah has been kidnapped by Garland. So that's what you're doing right now, is you're finding out what happened, and then you're going to go save her. So talking to people will help you out on where you need to go. And I think the game is pretty good at telling you what you need to do next, especially for an older game. Now, I don't think you have to come in here if you're just trying to play through, but for me, it's always been important to just enjoy the story. So I like talking to the people, finding out what's going on. And after you save the princess, there are places here that you'll be able to unlock. I'm going to go around to them right now. But these are special items you can get. And there's some places that you have to come back to way later. Like when you get the Mystic Key, you have to come back to get some of the stuff. And they tell you about that, which is good. Okay, so those you don't get for saving the princess. Those you get with the Mystic Key after you see the Elf Prince. So that's later on in the game. Alright, so we're leaving the castle. We are going to go do some fighting. And I'll show the first couple of fights, and then I'm going to just skip over it. Now, one thing about this game in fights that you have to be careful of is you have to select your targets. In future Final Fantasy games, if two characters are fighting the same target and one of them dies, then the next player will automatically attack a target that's still alive. But in this game, that doesn't happen. So if they attack the same target, they'll try to attack the space where the dead target is, and you won't be able to attack them. So you got to make sure you target your attacks. Now it does make it hard to read all of the battle stuff since I've set it all the way to 8, but it helps it go faster. If you have it set on 1, it takes a while for all the text to go. So. Thanks again for joining me, friends, and I will be back to you after I finish leveling these characters up. Okay guys, the next time I level up, I'm going to hit level 3, and that's the level I'm going to get to when I decide to go up to Garland's Castle. So that's the level suggested to move on from here. So if you're unfamiliar with a role-playing game on a console, every time you level up, you get more life, more maximum life that you can have for your character. Your characters get stronger. In the case of Judd and Troy in this game, the mages, they're able to cast more magic spells at that point. Now in more modern even games that were classic RPGs, your magic was kept track of by magic points. Now you're going to see them level up right here. Strength up, agility up, intelligence up, vitality up, luck up. And it'll tell you what their new maximum health is, which is nice. Oh, because you didn't see those, let me move this for a second. Alright, like I say, an agility up, intelligence up, vitality up, and sometimes strength up. So it'll tell you which stats have gone up for your characters here. Alright, so we're just going to rest at the end to get our health up. I've already bought the spells that I didn't buy earlier with money I had. I also bought a tent so that I could save right outside of Garland's Castle in case I do die there. Alright. So we're going to take the short journey up there to the castle. Now, I was talking about magic earlier. I didn't finish talking about it. The magic in this game is different. In this game, you can see their hit points. Ryan has 81 right now, Nate is at 68. So that's how those are taken, and there are magic points that are noted in numbers the same way in other games on different consoles that are RPGs. But in this RPG, your magic spells, you're just limited to a certain number at each level. And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. I'll go back to the status screen after this and I'll show you. So, if we look at our magic here, for Judd, for example. So level 1 says 3 of 3. That means I can cast 3 magic spells, and then I don't have any more magic power. I don't have any level 2 spells yet, but if I did have them, I can cast up to 2 of them right now. So that's how it works. So I use magic pretty sparingly, as you could imagine. Whenever you rest at an inn, you get all your magic points back. Or they're not called magic points in this game, but you get your magic back whenever you rest at an inn. I believe if you have... I don't think you get them back in a tent, but if your party rests, I think, in a cabin that you can get as well to save with out in the map. I believe that also restores health and magic. And there may be some other items that restore magic in this game. I really don't remember off the top of my head. So that's why most of the time you're seeing me attack with the knife with Judd, because I don't want to waste his magic. Once we get to Garland, I'll be using those fire spells, but we're going to try to save them for that battle. So this is where we're going to fight. We're going to use this tent just to save. It does recover your health, which is good. And we'll push A to save. It gives you an option to save or not. Alright. So we've saved. We don't have any other items now, which may be a mistake. Maybe I should have bought some potions for life, but we'll see what we can do. Now there are some locked rooms on the right side here, so we're not going to go to those rooms yet, but we are going to go to these. So I'm going to use Harm on the ghoul. So I will use a magic spell with Troy here. Because Harm damages undead, so we killed him. Get a lot of experience for that. So it might be worthwhile to level up in here a little bit. Alright, so we found a cap. We are going to equip that on... We're going to equip it on Troy just for his sake. I wish we had another one for Judd, but you want to give plenty of armor to your magic users because they do not have a lot of armor. Now, one of the things I told you, there's two locked rooms in here. Those locked rooms, I'm gonna have to start using some magic because this is a lot of stuff. Those locked rooms have some special weapons in them. Like there's a sword that does extra damage to were creatures. And let's see what else there is here in the Temple of Fiends. There's a rune sword that's effective against magic users. Well, it's supposed to be effective against magic users, but the reality is that this game is not... I don't know if it's a glitch or they didn't program something correctly. I'm not sure what the exact story is. But basically, none of the special attributes for special weapons actually work in the game. I mean, they are as strong as they're supposed to be, but they don't have the bonus features that act against certain types of enemies, which is unfortunate. Now, that's been corrected when they've remade this game, but I don't think there's ever been a fixed version of the actual original game for the NES. Ooh, goodness, Troy's already at 14 health. So I may want to go back and buy some tents and prepare better because this is a lot of stuff thrown at us. They want to fireball another wolf as well. And Troy is going to cure himself, hopefully, before he gets hit again. Alright, good. Ooh, that makes things more manageable. If somebody dies, they don't get experience, and so other characters will get leveled before them, and it's bound to happen to me eventually in this game. But if I can help it, I would like for everybody to level up as close to possible. Close together as possible. Alright, let's go ahead and cure Nate, and then we're going to retreat. And I'm going to make another cut here, and I will come back after I've gotten some items. Okay, we're back. I got some heal potions, and we're going back, and we're going to try to get these other items before we go fight Garland. And that way I don't have to worry about trying to come get these after. It'll be easier to leave. Oh my goodness. Did quite a bit of damage to Troy there. Alright, another heal potion and a cabin. That's great. Alright. guess I might use another tent before we go try to fight Garland, just to make sure that I'm at good health before I go into that fight, especially since Judd and Troy have taken some damage in this so far. There are definitely a lot of improvements that were made in the future installments, like save points within dungeons and things, that really have helped out. Oh my goodness. Wait, I have heal potions. I forgot that I got these specifically for this purpose, so. At least we're down to just one enemy. This is usually the party I always make. You can make the party whatever you want. I could have 4 fighters if I wanted to, which gives you a lot of power to fight with early on, but you lose some of the powerful magic spells you can use later by not having a mage with you. That was some good experience in that fight. I wonder how close... Oh my goodness. I was about to go outside. I wonder how close I am to leveling up. These, thankfully, are not too difficult to kill, so... Oh my gosh. I can't... Oh! Nate almost died. I really don't want my black belt to die. Like I said, I want everybody to level up at the same time as much as possible, so hopefully early on like this I won't have a mess up like that. Alright. So let's use the tent. I did get some magic back from the tent, I think. That's good. I didn't know I could get magic back from it. We're saved there, so let's see if we can do this. Alright. So my strategy is going to be just to use magic and attack as much as I can. Troy does not have anything really to hurt him with except his staff, so he'll just be plinking away with that 1 damage. This isn't really a difficult fight, especially compared to the other boss fights, which you'll see coming up. So now we're just down to fighting and keeping ourselves alive. Especially as long as he hits my fighter. Since my fighter can take more hits. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty easy to actually fight him. The other monsters in the Temple of Fiends are more difficult to deal with. And you're instantly transported back here. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get those items while I was up there. I don't want to have to go in there just to get those items. So here's our princess that we saved, and she gives you the loot, and you need this later on. And you'll see when I need it, but now I have the loot. Now we can leave this continent and continue on our journey. And a lot of the people will say thank you for rescuing the princess. It's really neat how they actually have a change in dialogue in this game once you've saved the princess. And we're not restored for our health and everything, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Now, if you want to power level and get up to a high level at this point and work on money before you continue on your journey, it's definitely a viable option. We're going to go ahead and continue. And now we cross the bridge and we get this title screen, which is really cool. We're trying to light these orbs back up that we have. This screen itself just looks really cool. The art that they're displaying. And now we are going off into the world. Thank you for watching this first video of Final Fantasy. I hope you will catch the other videos as I continue to play through this game. And I think I will play through more Final Fantasy games after this. Of course, I'm working on other games as well right now, so thanks again for watching and taking the time. I appreciate you, friends. Have a great day.